So like I said in the last video, I was born without religion, just like everybody else. But the difference is, I got to stay that way. So now I guess I'm going to tell you what that means exactly. My father is, and has been for quite some time, an atheist, actually an antheist, which may or may not be a real term, but an anti-theist. He not only doesn't believe in a god, he believes very strongly that there is no god. A little bit different from an atheist, but what are you going to do? My mother was kind of silent on the issue my entire life. I just assumed that she was also an atheist, as you kind of assume that something doesn't exist before it does, or at least I always have. And I found out later that she is agnostic, which basically in her case means she doesn't really care and she doesn't want to deal with her family's Catholicism, so whatever. She doesn't think about God. Kind of worked out in our family. So, basically growing up as a child without any religious influence was pretty normal, I guess. I mean, it's difficult for me to compare to religious households since I didn't grow up in one. It's like asking a Christian person, how is it like to grow up without Krishna? I would assume that you'd have just as much difficulty thoroughly answering that question as I have difficulty answering how was growing up without the Christian God or any other gods, without belief. I guess the most obvious thing is that I was raised in America, as you can probably tell from my horrible accent. I know, I don't have a cute, sexy YouTube accent. No one's going to love me. What are you going to do? But that means that I grew up with American culture, which included Christmas and Easter and, you know, Halloween and all of those things. I don't think Halloween qualifies as a religious holiday for anybody, but, you know, for Christmas I got presents and I had Santa come. Something I'll talk about in a later video, since I never actually believed in Santa either. Funny story, we'll get to that later. I got chocolate on Easter. The only difference is I never went to church on any of these holidays. And up until the age of 6, I didn't know the word God. It was not part of my vocabulary. It was nothing I'd ever heard or seen. I had no experience with it within my family. Even with my religious relatives, they knew kind of how my family felt about religion and didn't talk about it. So for me, the word God was very new when I was 6 years old and started going to school. And that's a topic for a whole nother day, because my whole introduction to God, yeah, way intense. So, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I hope to inform you more on what it's like to be a non-religious person.